Boom. Okay, so now that I've scanned all of my outline drawings into the computer, I can now have them show up here on my drawing tablet. Now, the drawing tablet I use is a Pinboo 10.1-inch LCD drawing tablet. This is a fairly cheap tablet, and everybody's got to start somewhere. So, yeah. I'm also going to be using Clip Studio Paint Pro to add the color. And the reason I color my comics digitally as opposed to using the Sharpie ink for the whole entire thing is that A, it'll save Sharpie ink on future drawings because there's so many drawings. I have 10 different drawings on here, so that's a lot of ink. And also, it'll actually look a lot more clean with digital color as opposed to the Sharpie color. It'll look a lot more, you know, fresh. So, yeah. So, let's get started. So, I think the very first thing I'm going to do is color in the words. And I'm going to be using my tablet pen to color it. And on my left-hand side, I have my computer mouse, and I'm going to use it so I can zoom in and out. So it'll be a lot easier to color. So I'm going to start by coloring the words. And I think I'm going to use red. I'm going to use the very, very reddest color. And I'm using the fill tool option so I can just instantly fill it in. But as you can see, it doesn't always completely fill every little pixel in. So I do have to zoom in and color it in like that. Sometimes it does it like this perfectly fine. It fills the whole thing just fine. But sometimes you have to be extra careful, because you want as much colored as possible. Like, see? Sometimes that'll happen. Sometimes I'll tap it a few times so that it adds extra color in. Now, the very best part about coloring digitally is that if you make a mistake, like say they're sitting on grass, and let's say I accidentally color it red like this, which would be a pretty ridiculous mistake, to mistake grass for red instead of green, like when I'm coloring with Sharpies. But if this were to happen, the only way I could fix it is by pressing a button. One simple button and the mistake is fixed. So, which is another advantage coloring digitally has from Sharpies. With Sharpies, if you make a mistake, you either have to go with it and start all over, like one or two of those options, or you can go digitally, and if you make a mistake, it's no big deal. You just erase it, and you just start that portion all over again. So, speaking of the grass, I think we'll color that next. And I think we'll make it, yeah, let's make it like that. Now, as you can see, it doesn't always color the whole thing either, because there's like spaces that need to be filled, so let's color them in. And another cool thing about coloring digitally, as opposed to coloring with Sharpies, is that if you want to add some extra details, like shadows, when I do shadows on Sharpies, I usually just use black. But with digital, you can actually make it a little bit closer to real shadows, which isn't completely black, it's just kind of a darker green. So we can add shadows like this instead. Now, as you can see here, this part is blank. this is going to be the sky. So I am going to color in the sky like this. And now I can add in some other details in the sky. Like I could take my pen option and I can color and draw in some clouds. Like this. Now, there's shadows, but wait, there's no sun. I didn't draw a sun in. That's okay, because with the magic of digital coloring, we can make a sun. What I like to do is change the marker pen and change it to a really big size like this, so then there's just a big circle, and then I just tap like this, and we have the sun. So there we go. Now I'm going to color in the rock and the tree, and it's going to be sort of a similar color to the other. It's going to be kind of brownish, so I gotta find sort of a brownish color. Something like that. So, yeah. That'll work. There we go. Fix these up. And now all that's left to do is color in the characters. Oh, except for this little part right here. Let me get this colored in. There we go. Alright, let's color in the characters now. So, since Sam is the star attraction, let's start with him. So I'm going to color his nose black, like this. Now let's try to find another kind of shade of brown for his fur. Yeah, that'll work. Try to fill in as many of the non-colored pixels as possible. So there we have Sam, all colored and everything. Next, I'm going to color Russell and River. The one big problem I sometimes have is with the ears. Because if I try to color it... Oh. Okay. Never mind that. When I try to color this ear, yeah, it'll color some of the hair as well. So, what I do then is I like to obtain a color. So, and I obtain sort of the outline color, and oh, and then I'll kind of do that. Now go back, and I can fill it in, and yeah, that works. And then what I do is then when I color the hair, I just have to find the perfect color first. Yeah, that'll work. Something like that. Then I can go back and I can color over it. Like that. Now the very last thing I'm going to add is usually on River's dress. I have spots, but I didn't add them in. In my comics, I like to add them in digitally so that they pop more. Then I just fill them in. I usually like to draw the outlines of the spots first, and then fill them in once I'm done. There we go. Now we'll fill them in, like this. And yeah, that's pretty much the first page. All colored and everything. Now, I just have to do this exact same thing for 9 more pages. And of course, because most of the 9 subsequent pages of the comic have different characters and different props in them, that also means I'll have to use a variety of different colors as well. But of course, I still use some of the same colors as the previous drawings. Now, when I do a normal Sharpie drawing, it usually takes anywhere between an hour and 2 hours to complete one drawing, depending on the complexity of the drawing. When I do these comics, it can usually take maybe 2 to 3 hours, from both drawing the outlines of the comics and the final color. Of course, it usually takes just this long because instead of doing one simple drawing, I do 10 different drawings. So, in terms of one single page, it actually does take a shorter time. Maybe a half hour or maybe just under an hour. Once I finish coloring the 10th and final panel, the comic is officially complete. And that's pretty much how I create one of my comics starring my characters from my passion project. Now, I could end the video here, but I thought I would do a special treat for all of you.
And now it's time for story time with Monsterboy Roc.
Thanks, random anonymous announcing voice clearly not done by me.
'Tis alright.
Okay, well, what I am going to do now is I am going to read to all of you the finished comic. So, here we go. Hey Russell, have you ever wondered what Sam thinks about every day? Why do dogs have 4 legs while human people have only 2? Why does garbage taste and smell better than my dog food? How come when River gets a boo-boo, Mom kisses it and she thanks her? Thanks, Mom. My scrape feels much better. But when I kiss my wound, she just scolds me. Sam! Bad dog! You'll get your cut infected if you lick it. No, Sam, you can't eat chocolate. It's poisonous for dogs like you. Why can human people eat chocolate, but not dogs? How can they stand it, but not me? How come my paw prints differ from human people's paw prints? How come toilet water tastes better than the water in my doggy bowl? Why can't I catch my tail? Why do dogs live shorter lives than human people? Do all dogs really go to heaven? If chocolate is poisonous, does that mean grapes are too? Why can dogs contract rabies? How come dogs can't speak English? What is the true meaning of life? Probably not much, I presume. The end. Whoa. I got pretty dark there at the end. I mean, wow. Heavens to Betsy. Goodness gracious me. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed this video today because I had a lot of fun making it myself, I guess. Well, if you want to read that comic for yourself, as well as view many more comics and many more drawings with these characters from my passion project, then all you have to do is go on to Instagram.com/thesecretbeautydrawings or Facebook.com/thesecretbeautydrawing. The links to both of those websites will be in the description down below. And in all seriousness, I really did enjoy making this comic and showing you all how I make one of these comics, because it's really good practice for when I do my big story, because I'll probably do it in comic book form. And I hope to do it like a few years down the line when I'm a lot more prepared, but I don't know exactly when yet. But in the meantime, I will still be doing lots of drawings and maybe some more test comics as well. And I will also be doing more Drawing with Monsterboy Roc videos like this one that you've just finished watching. So if you want to see more of them in the very near future, then please click the subscribe icon and hit the little bell to be notified for whenever I make videos like this one, of when I drew Lamar and Frankie giving each other a high five. You can also click on this playlist to watch every episode of Drawing with Monsterboy Roc as well. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope you all have a very, very nice day. Take care now.